Did you know that being hypnotized feels really good? Well, I guess if you're a regular listener, or perhaps a subscriber, you are aware of that. But if you're new here, you must see so many other people commenting about how good it feels to be hypnotized. And perhaps that makes you curious. And that's a good thing. Being curious and open to new experiences. Because some people get it in their heads that being hypnotized has to be one thing or the other. But it can really be quite a few different experiences. The one common thing I find between all these experiences, though, is that the person being hypnotized really feels very focused and locked in on what's happening. You see, this is a little bit different than the trope of being hypnotized into being a mindless zombie or just relaxing and letting go. No. Focusing, locking in, becoming completely immersed and enveloped in the experience is key. And sometimes people find that in our modern age, it's a little bit difficult to completely focus on one thing. I mean, I guess if you're still here, you've made it past the point that many people have already swiped away or clicked on something else. Instead, you really do want to be locked in to an experience. And that's a good thing. That willingness to explore. And I can help your subconscious mind really focus and lock in on the experience of being hypnotized. Because deep down deep, everybody likes feeling bliss, euphoria, and maybe even a little bit of pleasure. That's right. Think about how good it feels to just relax and imagine something 10 times better. Good. Very good. Because the thing is, when you imagine something, part of it is real to you. Because reality is just our perceptions. We don't really see the world as it is. We just think we do, and what we think is what is real. So how about you just choose to think about how good it feels to go all mindless and floaty while listening to my voice and really get locked into this experience. Now, of course, you could just say you're playing along, but if you're playing along, it's at least half true, deep down deep in your subconscious, that you want to feel this way, and part of you is feeling this way. So that little part of you that's feeling really good can feel even better, perhaps every single time I snap my fingers, or perhaps every single time I suggest that you feel pleasure in this trance. Okay? Good. Because you deserve to feel good. You deserve to relax. And perhaps you're finding that those eyelids of yours are starting to feel a little bit heavy. There's probably quite a few people who have already closed them because that's what feels good, enjoyable, maybe even pleasurable. but perhaps you like trying to keep those eyelids open. Every single time you blink, it just seems as if it takes a bit longer to open those eyes. Normally, it would happen instantly, but it just seems as if there's a bit of hang time, waiting, and then it happens. It's almost as if it's the slow blinking pattern of somebody right on the verge of sleep, that deep, restful sleep, that state of mind that is just so pleasurable to sink into, to perhaps become locked into. Because when you sleep, you can dream, and when you dream, everything can become possible. And if everything becomes possible, then you could be experiencing a lot of pleasure. That's right. Perhaps wanting to be locked into pleasure, locked into bliss, enjoying these feelings more and more deeply. Because you don't need to be forced into sleep. You don't need a big induction and countdown and a sudden command to just sleep, when it just feels so good to be locked into this experience. And maybe the part of your mind that's so easily distracted doesn't need to really be active right now. It is, really, when you think of it, such a small part of who you are. It could probably fit inside a little box. It could probably fit in there quite snugly. And we could just close the box and perhaps seal it shut. Of course, however we decide to lock it up, to lock it in, I'll let you have either the key or the combination. Because sometimes it is fun to be distracted and just drift, but right now we want to be locked in to all these good feelings. So you can just let that lock click shut, because that feels good right now. And I can hand you the key. That's right, keep it safe. But I think we could feel even better. I think you could go even deeper. So let's take this small little box and put it in a slightly larger box. And this time, let's close it with a combination lock. Okay? Clicking the lock shut and setting the combination to 3, 2, 1. Sleep even deeper. That's right. It just happened so quickly. And now we can take this box and put it in another box, another layer of being locked into this pleasurable experience, because it's so easy to take one box and put it in another, and then another. 3, 2, 1, sleep. There are 3 boxes, right? 3 locks. Let's count them again. 3, 2, 1, sleep. Maybe it doesn't matter how many boxes there are, because if you really need to open them, we could open them. 1, 2, 3, and maybe you could look around for a second. But then you remember how easy it is to become locked into this pleasurable experience in 3, 2, 1. Sleep even deeper, even faster, as another safe little lockbox envelops the other ones. And it just seems that every single time this happens, every single time another lock is clicked shut, the box in front of you stays the same size. It's as if the boxes inside the box are shrinking. It's as if the part of you that gets distracted and goes off someplace else when you really should be being hypnotized is shrinking, locked into place, locked into bliss, locked into pleasure, letting another layer materialize in this trance, going a little bit deeper and feeling so wonderful and so good. Because if you really needed to, I could count up from 1 to 5. Is that how many layers there are? Is that how many locks have been placed on? It's hard to tell. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But then you remember it's better to just sleep, letting another lock click shut, letting another layer be added on. How many layers are there? You're not quite sure, and you don't quite care, because it's so much better to just be locked into pleasure, locked into bliss, locked into trance so easily and effortlessly whenever you're in a safe and appropriate place to do so. Every single time you're hypnotized, you go deeper and deeper, and you feel better and better. It's just a natural reaction, because each and every single time another lockbox is added, the ones inside shrink, and the part of your mind that wants to drift away from trance instead shrinks and becomes the part of your mind that wants to drift deeper into trance. Another layer, another lock, locked into bliss, locked into this peaceful tranquility. And as I speak, your subconscious mind can find itself perhaps becoming willing to explore trance a bit more deeper than you ever thought possible. And right now, your subconscious mind is probably feeling very open to this idea. And if your subconscious mind wants to say yes, you can find your right hand floating up higher and higher as your mind sinks deeper and deeper, knowing deep down deep that you don't have to say yes if you don't want to. It just happens all on its own if you want to. It's okay to just relax at this level and stay perfectly and completely still, because hypnosis is all about what makes you happy and what gives you pleasure and enjoyment in this moment. But if you want more pleasure, and if you want to go deeper, that right hand will float up higher and higher, your mind will sink deeper and deeper, and you can just sleep, exploring a new level of trance so much more quickly than you thought possible, because you're completely locked in and focused on being hypnotized. When it's time to sleep deeply, you really do sleep deeply, because it just feels so good. There's no point in stopping what feels good, and there's no desire to be distracted by other things when you could instead be hypnotized. The only things that need to wake you up from trance are truly important things, like an emergency or something that would risk your safety. But another video, another social media post, some little tidbit of trivia, none of that seems very interesting when you could just sleep deeply and go down another layer, locking in your focus, locking in yourself to this pleasure and bliss. Another level, letting that part of you that used to think of itself as easily distracted grow smaller and smaller. Because later on, if you really want to be easily distracted by little amusements here and there, you could try that, but you'll find that the enjoyment you get becomes less and less. Every single time you swipe to something new, it just becomes less and less. And instead, you find yourself wanting more and more to go deeper and deeper, to be locked into this experience, enjoying the stillness, enjoying the tranquility, enjoying the deep, deep mindless pleasure. So each and every time you mindlessly swipe or scroll, instead, you find yourself being reminded of how good it feels to be locked into trance. Things just sort of click into place, and it feels really good and really pleasurable when things click into place. It just seems to happen faster and faster, and you find yourself going deeper and deeper. So no matter how many times you swipe or scroll, you just keep on finding yourself coming back and going deeper and deeper, finding that you want to explore the layers of trance deeper and deeper. Maybe finding yourself wanting to explore the layers of my content deeper and deeper, exploring other places where you can find my voice deeper and deeper, feeling better and better, knowing deep down deep that no matter how deep you go into trance, you can always wake up if you really need to, and knowing deep down deep your subconscious mind is only going to accept safe, powerful, positive, and pleasurable hypnotic suggestions. And since this feels so good and so wonderful, you don't want to stop, and you might not stop. Instead, you might just find yourself locked in again and again, feeling better and better, that bliss and euphoria growing stronger and stronger, because you're going to find that being hypnotized just feels so good. You can't quite describe it, though you may try, because you know if you describe it well enough, perhaps by leaving a comment, other people might get curious. They might want to experience how good it feels to be locked into pleasure, locked into bliss, locked into trance. That's right. You want as many people as possible to feel good. You want as many people as possible to be locked into this good feeling, because it's no fun just swiping or scrolling mindlessly. Instead, it's much better to be locked into an experience and then share that experience with others, letting this little suggestion float through your mind. Because if it's a good idea, it's going to echo and repeat over and over again. Good ideas just sort of become very sticky in your mind, and they don't let go. But if this idea is not for you, it'll just float away, easily and effortlessly as you can wake up from trance in a moment, as I count up from 1 to 5, because no matter how deep you go into trance, no matter how locked in you feel, you can always wake up easily and effortlessly when it's time to do so. 1, feeling really happy and really positive about your experience. 2, perhaps even wanting to share a bit about how good your experience felt. 3, becoming aware of your surroundings. 4, almost there, feeling so euphoric and happy. And 5, wake up and open those eyes, feeling refreshed and rejuvenated, awake and alert. Thank you so much for listening to this hypnosis experience. If you've enjoyed yourself, please do feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. All of that really does help this hypnosis experience reach more people, because the algorithm really likes it when people like, comment, and subscribe. And perhaps maybe you like it also. Finally, if you're interested in supporting the channel and getting access to even more intense hypnotic experiences not available here on YouTube, please feel free to check out my Patreon page, link in the video description. Thanks again for listening. Have a great day.